Rasheen and Owen. Hey, everybody, it's Rasheen and Owen. We are gathering because we had some pretty momentous news today. If you hadn't heard, KJ Lewis is out for the remaining 3 games of the season with an ankle injury. We just wanted to get together, react to the news, hear what your thoughts are, talk a little bit about what we can expect over the next 3 games in the Big East tournament, and talk a little bit about Coach Cooley. Oh, does that sound good?
Yep, sounds perfect to me.
So if you have any questions or comments, please make them. We're happy to answer questions. You can be positive, you can be negative, whatever your vibe is.
Yeah, so Rasheen, how are you feeling?
Well, KJ's injury is that's probably the thing I'm dealing with the most. I mean, I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for the team. It looks like those last 3 games are going to be losses. Looks like the Big East tournament game will be a loss. It's just been a season from hell, man. And it seems like it's just kept getting worse. I told you there's no way Cooley is getting fired, especially after this. I didn't think it was going to happen before, but the case for Cooley is that he's had 2 back-to-back years of just incredible injuries. And if I'm Lee Reed, I've got to be thinking this can't happen a 3rd season in a row. But mainly I'm mystified, I'm frustrated. I can't figure out what's wrong with this team. It feels very cursed right now.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I feel like KJ Lewis's injury is not an excuse for how bad our season was. I mean, it's late in the season, we're already last place.
No, the season was lost already.
Yeah. I don't think we're firing Cooley for other reasons. I think Cooley should be fired. I think he has not been able to evolve to the new college basketball game, what comes with it, the money, how to recruit players, how to bring players in, how to develop players. And I was really high on Cooley at the start of the season. And I thought he was one of the best coaches in the Big East. And I think he's just proven that he is not a good enough coach to be coaching, and he's not going to bring Georgetown what we need. But you can't pay him $20 million buyout again. You can't do it. It's not going to happen. And I feel like you have to give him one more year. Specifically on KJ, though, I mean, it's obviously upsetting news. He was our best player by far this season. Incredible to watch. I don't think he's coming back next year. I don't know why he would, to be honest. Number one,
he would go to some other school, or he would go to the NBA.
So the thing is, if you're getting mock drafted into the NBA as a junior, you're late in the NBA draft, there's really no reason to come back. No NBA team is going to draft a senior that even is going to have a similar stat line to what KJ did this year. No one's going to draft him. He'll become an undrafted free agent in 2 years, or he could go now, be drafted with 50th something pick around the 50s, get another man into the NBA. But I just don't see him as a Georgetown Hoya next year.
You don't think the injury in any way affects his future?
It depends when he's going to be healthy to compete again. If he could play in the combine, if he can go to workouts, we don't really know that much other than he'll be out for the season. But there's still time in between the season and the combine to get ready and compete. And also, I don't know. I could even see him entering the transfer portal again. I don't know why anyone would want to play for this Ed Cooley team. And it hurts to say because I thought this year was going to be an incredible year for us, but I just don't.
Done at 180.
Yeah, I just don't know why any player would want to play for this team right now.
What do you think's going on in the locker room?
I mean, it depends who you are. I feel like there's some people that are happier with how they are finishing the season. There's guys like Kayvon Mulready who were getting like no minutes at the start of the season, now playing a lot. There's some people that are wondering why they're even here. Gabriel Landria. I mean, he was at the game. Obviously, he was there, Seton Hall. But when he was walking in and out of the tunnel, he said, "What's up?" to me. He was like, "How are you doing?" And like, he's a very nice guy, but I can't imagine he's sitting in the locker room being like, yeah, I should have came to Georgetown this year. I feel like he's going to redshirt, so he'll get another year. But even him, why wouldn't he go to a new team? I mean, it's hard to say. We have a good recruiting class coming in. We have Alex Constanza, Justin Caldwell. The thing is, we could have had guys like Jordan Smith Jr., Caden Samuels if we probably performed better this season. And like, that's the question you have to ask. If we had a better season this year, if we were playing better, would these top guys from the DC area or DMV want to come play for Georgetown? Because right now they don't.
Well, I think Baba had already made his
Yeah,
decision.
Baba
We
too.
were still good. We were still good then. Caden Samuels, I don't know. It seems like probably that was most likely a money thing. Bad teams get top guys all the time if they overspend. I don't know. With Gabriel, I don't think I've ever heard Cooley explain why he's redshirting him. The most I've heard is when they were going to make a decision about whether or not he was going to play, and he said that it was going to be a decision made along with his parents. But it's very weird. It's just like it's been memory hold.
And not even is it weird that he's not playing, but Ron Bailey, who covers the team, was saying things about Gabriel and how he was playing at practice that just didn't seem good at all, and not what we saw in Global Gym.
People clowned Ron about that, but it seems like he probably was right.
I was clowning him too, and I'm still gonna clown him. I don't think you should ever talk about a player like that, especially a new one who's getting into a new system. I feel like if anything, if he sees that, it can't do any good for anyone. You could say that you think he's gonna redshirt because he's new to the team, but hating on him and how he plays and what he's able to do, the week or 2 weeks into when he arrives at Georgetown, I just feel like that is just a stupid thing to do, and it can't help him at all. So, I mean, yeah, I didn't like that post at all, but maybe he was right. The thing is, I don't think that Ed is going for this guy Gabriel in the middle of the season that couldn't help us. I feel like it was already a downhill year. There was no point in wasting a year of this kid. He's 21, 20 years old. He's an older guy. He's going to be a even older freshman next year, and age in college basketball is a big thing. If you're older, you have more experience. But I just feel like there are a lot of questions to be asked. Like, when is the next time we'll ever see Georgetown in March Madness? Next year, I is a real goal. Number one, because we're back where we were with at one of the worst teams in the league. We won games, but we're one. Number two is a big question I've been asking this entire season is what happened from the point where Vince got announced to not be playing anymore to now, because we were beating teams like Clemson. Clemson's a top team in the nation right now. In my opinion, they're top 30, top 25 team. They're an incredible team. How do you go from beating a team like Clemson, beating Maryland, beating Kentucky in exhibition in the offseason, to losing games in the Big East, to easy wins, throwing away easy games? I have no clue what happened. Maybe DHS was like the glue holding the team together, but I highly doubt that. I don't think losing DHS is the reason why we started losing all the games, but there has to be an answer to why, and I just have no clue what it is.
What do you think's been consistent about this team all year?
I really I don't know if I could say anything. I think one thing that's been consistent, whether we're winning or losing, is the energy. I feel like our guys haven't put their heads down yet. I think everyone's still energized. If someone makes a three, we all see everyone doing the eagle. I feel like everyone is still hyped up. And even though it's a bad season, there's still the energy's there, which
the one game that I would say they didn't have it was the Butler game, where they gave up 90 plus points, and they just didn't. It just looked like they didn't care.
Yeah, I mean, we just we threw away so many games this season that if we win, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation right now. I feel like
just when half of them.
Yeah, even half. The thing is, another question I have is, how do we lose to teams that we're supposed to beat, but then hold UConn within 2 points, or be competing with UConn in Cap One and also Stores? We were competing with UConn. I was there. It was a dogfight till the end, and then you go out of that game and it's like, wait, maybe Georgetown does have something. Vince is back, he's healthy, he's playing well, but then you just losing these games. And I don't have an answer to it. I feel like KJ not being there, it's only gonna get worse. I don't even think I'm gonna be able to turn on my TV to watch those Georgetown games. I just don't know if I can put myself through that because it's gonna be painful. But I feel like now is the time we turn to the corner to what do we do next season? What are the players we need to target in the transfer portal? And how do we make sure that Ed Cooley isn't fired next year?
I think that when I think about what has been consistent from the first game until now, I think about they haven't turned the ball over. I think that was probably the best attribute of this team. They play hard. They keep on losing games late. I swear to God, every time there's 5 minutes left in the game, I get scared and I'm just waiting for the collapse, and I'm usually right. If you think about what they've done in terms of scoring, they haven't really blown anybody out other than in the bye games. And they haven't even covered actually in any of the bye games this year. So I don't, they're just they've never been quite as good as the talent would suggest. And if that's the case, I got to blame the coaching staff. I think one thing that Cooley has said over and over throughout this year in the press conferences is that this team played hard, but they don't always play smart. And I think that's absolutely true. But that's his job to get them to play smart.
Yeah.
I
think
and if these guys can't keep on forgetting, because it looks like they just actually forget every time like what to do, that's also on him.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Ed, number one, didn't put together the best roster to succeed this year. I feel like there were many things that could have went wrong. Number one, I'm guessing they knew Vince was going to be out for not majority, but like a quarter of the season. I think they definitely knew that. They would have to have known that when they recruited him. I don't know why they, number one, trusted Juice that much to be able to hold down at center position for all those games in a tough stretch with the schedule without Vince. I just feel like there's so many questions where it's like, what was Ed thinking this entire time when he was making these decisions? It took him a long, long time to start Vince. It took him a long, long time to start Vaughn after he was playing well. It just seemed like he didn't have he wasn't as skilled at coaching this year as other previous years. And I feel like that's another thing we have to ask, because I've been big about this in our UConn preview and also today. Like, he hasn't evolved to the coaching in college basketball like other coaches have had to. Like Rick Pitino, like he hasn't evolved to that level. And if I was Ed in this situation, I'd be thinking about a retirement either this year or next year so that it doesn't ruin my
Stop. Come on.
He's
like 53, dude.
Where's he going if he gets fired from Georgetown?
I think he'll get another high major job without a doubt, because they're just so much. He's got a good resume. I think he understands the new landscape. He's missed a ton in the portal, and he's taken gambles he shouldn't have taken. Langston Love was a gamble, did not work out. Like you said, Vince, he must have known Vince was going to be out at least a month. Well before it was announced. It's on him that they didn't have any interior defense behind him.
Yeah, I mean,
Juice had some really good games filling in, but Juice is never going to be a guy that's going to hold down, the defense.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at the transfer portal last season, because I was doing this earlier today, just looking at who we missed out on, who we were competing for and weren't able to get, like Bryce Hopkins, number one, someone who played for Ed Cooley at Providence, like that was a player where you had to get him in the portal. Like there was no excuse for not getting him. We have it's rumored that Georgetown has the money. It's a known thing that Georgetown has the money and can spend the money. Like, how don't you get a guy like Bryce Hopkins who knows your coach, loves your coach, is close with the coach, and just you whiff on him? And he goes to, not only does he not go to Georgetown, but he goes to St. John's, another Big East school. There's guys like two guys who went to or Jalen Sellers who went to Providence. We were in on him too. He left. Like, there's so many guys.
We didn't get Devin Carter the first year.
exactly. Like there's so many guys who it's like you should easily get this guy if you're Cooley, and he just hasn't been able to prove that he knows what he's doing in this landscape of college basketball. And honestly, it's not his fault. He was winning. He was a winning coach when it was way easier to win in college basketball. But when you go to a school like Georgetown, when you have all this money, I would think that even if you don't know how to evolve, like if you have to throw a little bit more money to get Bryce Hopkins on your team, you're throwing that amount of money to save your season, because I don't think there was any way he was going into this year thinking we are the best we possibly could have been with all the players we possibly could have gotten.
Well, I come back to so many people saying this is the most Ed Cooley team that we've seen at Georgetown. And that's right. And one of the features of those teams is there was very little shooting. So this was a very well-known issue. I don't think anybody thought it would be as bad as it is. If Landera can shoot and handle the ball, I don't know why he's not playing, given those are two real needs you have. He's got it. Cooley, if Cooley's got to find a pass-first point guard who can get and organize the team, especially in late game situations, and he's got to get a sharpshooter. Like if they don't get a guy who can shoot 40% on 7 or 8, 9 attempts from three, the season is over before it even starts. But Ed's a stubborn guy. He's won a lot of games doing it a certain way, and I think he's been too loyal to certain players. But we'll see. Next year will be the test if he can evolve.
Yeah, and Stephen Anthony commented, so I'll pin his comment right now. He said, sometimes you gotta leave the game before the game leaves you, assuming that's about Ed Cooley. And to be honest, I completely agree. Like, I know the clip you're talking about, the soccer clip, but I completely agree. Like, I think it's time for Ed, if not this year, next year, to just realize that if he doesn't leave, his entire image is going to be ruined because he's not able to coach in this format of college basketball.
I'm thinking about the press conferences I've been to and the frustration and the anger. The whole blessed comment was him, one, deflecting, but also I just think he's out of answers. I don't think he knew what else to say. That's what he looks to, he looks to me a lot like a guy who his usual bag of tricks just isn't doing anything. And he's got to find a way. He needs a new bag or new tricks.
Yeah.
But whatever won him games at Providence, it's not going to work here. Or it's not going to work entirely. So he's got to figure out what translates and what doesn't. I would say I would shake up the staff. I don't know. Our offense is god awful. I don't know. Is it Henton who's our offensive guy? Yeah, it's bad when we don't get a lot of easy shots, and when we do, we don't make them. Right? Actually, I was at the last game, the Marquette game. We got some good looks from three. We just couldn't make them. That's why that's how you finish 4 for 25 in a game.
And if anyone has any other comments, just send them in. Rasheen, you mentioned something about loyal. You said that Ed Cooley's too loyal to players.
Honestly, I think he's been too loyal to Mac.
Mac, yeah. I was going to ask you if there's any players he's been too loyal to on the Georgetown roster.
Yeah, I get why he's been so loyal to Mac, even though I think it's because who else? Who else are you going to start at point guard? Are you going to start Jeremiah Williams? Yeah. Are you going to start Kayvon? No. So he's got to ride with Mac, but I wouldn't feel good about going into next season with him as your starting point guard.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know if we're gonna have the decision to have him as our starting point guard. There's so many reasons for him to also leave Georgetown. I mean, he was coming in as a rookie of the year for the Ivy League, balling out for Harvard, supposed to be this big deal, and he hasn't really performed, in my opinion, either. I just feel like the Georgetown team we see now, if you're going to simulate to the start of next season, it's going to be a totally different team. I think out of the starting lineup we have now, we may have like 2 or 3 of those guys start, or 2 starting next year. I feel like I'm hoping Vince can get an extra year because he is much needed for Georgetown. But I agree with you. He's been way too loyal to Mac, and that needs to change because it just doesn't work anymore. You're muted.
It would be my first priority in the portal to find a true point guard.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of priorities, obviously. I mean, I don't think any Georgetown fan was thinking, yeah, we're going to be the worst team in the Big East this year. Like, I just don't even think that was like anything going through anyone's brain.
I thought we were going to be fighting for it with Providence, and that it would basically, that showdown would determine it. But we easily could lose the rest of the games and end up 11.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and also on the other hand, right? So there's Georgetown, which is our team, playing horrible, and we all know that. But also Providence is also playing horrible with the same issues. Both of us had. I'm not going to say we had the best transfer portal, but we both had pretty good transfer portals. They had one that was way better than us. They haven't been able to do anything. Kim English is going to be gone no matter what. My question is, Providence and Georgetown is probably looking for the same candidates at coaching and the same head coaching candidates. They're both in the Big East, both need the same things, both need to return to being amazing teams. My question is, if they don't let Ed go this year, are they going to miss out on an amazing coach that will end up at Providence, who is our rival, whether Ed Cooley is here or not, in my opinion?
They could definitely miss out on shirts from St. Louis. They could miss out on Tony Skinn at George Mason.
Yeah, I mean, Shirts is the number one guy. I feel like if we could get Shirts, I would say pay Ed Cooley, have him leave, because I feel like Shirts can adapt to this new level of college basketball. He knows what he's doing, and he could be the guy who could bring Georgetown. But like, I have no clue what we're even supposed to do anymore, because the only way we get rid of Ed is if we pay him $20 million, which how many players in the transfer portal can you pay $20 million instead of Ed Cooley?
How many times are you going to pay buyouts? Like, they had to buy out JT3, they had to buy out Ewing.
Yeah,
that's why I think that's a huge reason of why they won't fire him is they don't want to spend that money. And I know one money guy pretty well. He thinks Cooley's great. He's been, he's an alum. He's been supporting Georgetown basketball for decades, and he's he wants to stay the course. I don't know, man. I am more open now to the idea that he's lost his fastball than ever, but I still think he can get it done. He's got to have an incredible offseason now. We were picked 6th in the preseason, which seemed very doable, easily, and we're far from 6th.
Yep. And I feel like every fan thought we were going to be better. We've kind of thought that was a little too low. So yeah, I mean, I have no real words. Another question is for you: what do you think are our top 3 priorities in the transfer portal?
Yeah, I think 1, a true point guard. 2, a beast wing, shooting guard or small forward who can tilt the floor towards him. And then we need a shooter. We need a volume 3-point shooter. And if I had to choose one, it would be the point guard. What about you, Owen?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. I think we need that shooter, a point guard. I also think one thing that we definitely need is an athletic power forward that's going to go and score.
Caleb has done a nice job, but he's not a power forward.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I'm actually excited for next year is I hope Caleb stays, and I think he will, just knowing his love for Georgetown, his dad's as well, Kyle. But I think he should be our small forward next year, and I think he could be a small forward on a winning team, but he's not a power forward. He's done his best with this season at being a power forward.
I think he's our leading rebounder.
I'll check. I'll check
which
right
is
now.
incredible given he's only 6'7". And he's going against guys a couple inches taller than him.
He is our leading rebounder at 5.4. Or wait, this may be wrong. Nope. Vince is our leader at 6, and then Caleb at 5.4. But yeah,
So second leading rebounder. He's far from 7 feet tall like Vince. He's a better fit definitely at small forward. And I think we got to get him more shots. He should be taking a bunch of pull-up threes.
yeah.
I was encouraged to see that he has been taking it to the hole a lot more. Defensively, he just isn't quick. His feet don't move quick. I don't know what you do about this at this point. You might have to hide him on defense, but he's no worse than Langston Love, who literally could not move.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at like this season as like a whole, I think there's a lot of these players that can take quick jumps over the offseason. Fixing Caleb's feet or how fast he can move, like that can be changed, that could be fixed. Something that can't be fixed is like the kind of like the smartness of our players and what they've been able to do this season. For example, like I forget which game it was. I think it was versus St. Peter's. We were beating them by however many points with like 2 minutes left. I don't think I've seen so many players just throw a ball in the air while leading, panicking. Like it was like they were trying to lose the game, like they were betting against themselves, because I've never seen Malik Mack throwing the ball in the air as high as he can in the sky, letting us St. Peter's guy just take it. Like that's not basketball. That's no basketball IQ. You have so much, like you have the lead, you have the time, chew the clock. Like I'm going back to this game because St. Peter's is a team that if you're a March Madness team, you're beating that team by 15 plus points. We went to overtime with that team. Like
that was definitely
embarrassing.
the worst win of the season.
Yeah, and that is kind of what started to make me think like maybe this season isn't going to be all sunshines and rainbows. And to be honest, it hasn't been. And I'd like to say that it's only up from here, but like based off history of this Georgetown team and what happens when we're in this position, it's not all up from here, because next season, for all we know, we could be not winning a single game in the Big East. So like we need to have a big offseason. We need to bring in the big names. We have to bring in players. Once the transfer portal starts, we're going to have an episode talking about specific players, but there are a lot of players that I've been watching more than actually Georgetown right now, just to see what they could do for Georgetown next year, because I'm kind of done with the Hoyas this year. I don't think I will be able to turn on another game, but especially without KJ, but it just, Ed needs to figure it out, or he needs to get out of Washington, D.C.
What do you think's been our worst loss so far?
Worst loss. Let me.
Not in terms of score, but just in terms of
just
shouldn't have happened.
My opinion. Not shouldn't have happened. I think the Xavier game, I think it was at home. Xavier at home.
Yeah, they beat that's 80-77.
Yeah,
and that's when we missed the 18 free throws.
Yeah, the worst game that I watched that like I was just like, what is going on with this team, was Thanksgiving and what we were doing over Thanksgiving, because that was right when we lost to Vince. I think everyone was very excited for that tournament at the start of the season because we were winning games and beating teams. And then we see us go to Orlando and just get absolutely killed by Dayton and Miami. And I mean, it's hard to look at any loss and say like it's a good loss, but those were definitely the hardest to watch, because that's kind of what made me feel like what happened to this team. And I was high on Vince this entire year from the day one, from the first game. I'd say start him over Juice. And if he comes back next year, I think we're in good shape at center. But who knows if he's going to be able to get another year of eligibility. And you can't bank on that nowadays. You can't say, oh, I hope he will. And if he doesn't, Juice can't be our center. I think we need to get another center in the transfer portal. So that was probably my two like worst to watch losses.
Xavier was an incredibly inexplicable loss. Lost to Butler at home I can't believe that happened. The Seton Hall lost here
No.
was another. What hurt especially about Seton Hall is it's as Ed has said, you just got to rebound and not turn over the ball. And
Yeah, I mean,
in both those games, they couldn't execute that.
yeah, I mean, we made the episode talking about like the hardest stretch of the season and how if Georgetown wanted to revamp their season, they had to win a few of the games in the St. John's, DePaul, Seton Hall, Creighton, UConn, Villanova, and Providence stretch. They lost every single one of those games except for Providence at the end. Literally every single one. We said they could lose 2 and we'll be fine. They could lose 1, that'd be amazing. They needed to win at least 3, 4. They won 0 because Providence wasn't even in that. It was just a horrible season, and it's sad talking about the season like past tense right now because we still have games to go, but there's no hope at all.
What are they playing for
this.
right now?
I think they're playing for something to show people in the transfer portal and recruits that they're going for. I mean, when you are deciding for between teams, never want to go to a team that sucked and that lost so many. Right now, they're playing for a resume to show to people when they come to George. Is it saying we were bad last year, but we picked it up towards the end? We have this momentum. We're bringing these guys back, but if we're losing games, I don't know. There's really nothing to play for other than that, in my opinion.
Do you think we ever see DHS again?
No, never. Here we have a few more comments. Social. You bring Nolan Smith with the staff of Delonte Hill, DeMarcus Johnson, and Chris Wright / Austin Freeman, Curtis Malone behind the scenes, and the Hoyas make instant waves in the basketball world.
Wait, would we be bringing the Hoyas down to an AAU team? What do you mean, Stephen Anthony?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we could. I don't know about that. I don't know if we could be making that big and that drastic of a change right now, but I see what you're saying, Stephen, about just getting a new coaching staff and kind of changing what it is. West Country, I'm not going to read the whole name, but the 2 games in Orlando were the beginning of the end. Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, without those 2 losses, if we win those 2 games, I think we are a March Madness team right now. If we don't lose Vince, I think we're a March Madness team right now. I completely agree with that comment.
Dayton was inexcusable because we got down and we had to come back 2 or 3 times to force overtime. If they had just won that game, then I think everyone feels good about what happened in Orlando.
Ziz said that the Creighton loss was the worst loss of the season.
Which one?
Yeah. Oh no, we won. We beat.
Sorry, we beat them at home. The loss on the road in Omaha. Yeah, where we got ripped off.
68. Yeah. Yep. And then same, all the momentum built from preseason early in the year was gone after those 2 games in Orlando. Completely. I completely agree. Back on, I'm gonna actually change my answer for the worst loss. UConn away. Number 1, Caravan traveled at the end of that game. And that kind of that threw me off a lot because number 1, how are you not going to call that? Number 2, I like how they had like that little ceremony for him after the game where it was like, yeah, he's the most winningest UConn player ever, but I don't think they should have won that game. He traveled. I think it was pretty obvious that he traveled, and the refs just didn't call it. And I mean, yeah, that was probably the game I hated to watch. Like that was definitely the worst game.
Marquette was pretty bad on Tuesday.
Yeah,
Marquette, and it was closer than the score would indicate.
Yeah,
but it was still just played stupidly. Just played stupidly, and Nigel James tore us up.
Yeah, he
top 20
really
on us,
did.
and of course losing KJ in the first half hurt a lot. But
yeah, and honestly, if there's some Big East names that if they enter the portal that I'd love to go for because they've just been playing amazing. Guys from Villanova, I don't know if anyone from Villanova is going to enter. I feel like they could do pretty good in March, but like guys from Seton Hall, players from Providence, I feel like there's a few guys that we could bring over that could really help us next season.
Like, wait, who from Providence?
I mean, Oswin, is that how you pronounce his his first name. Yeah, Oswin. I feel like he could definitely help us out if we are losing. If we lose Vince, um, the guy from Seton Hall I'm talking about, I have no clue if he will enter or not. But Bud Clark is an amazing player. I watched him at Seton Hall. He's an amazing player. I'd love to have him as our point guard next year, or at least on our team.
Clark, I think, scored 22
Yeah.
against in DC against us and just controlled the game.
Yeah.
I thought he embarrassed Mac, quite frankly.
And he's a small guy, but he uses his size incredibly well. He plays bigger than he is. He takes all the intensity, all the hits, and I feel like he is an incredible player. And if I could say I want one guy to be on our team out of everyone in the Big East next year, I have no clue if he'll enter. He probably won't. He's been doing good things at Seton Hall, but Bud Clark is a name I would circle because he's an incredible player.
Why do you think the defense has been so bad? Especially given this is what Cooley, one of his strengths of his teams,
and also what he preached this offseason.
And he keeps on saying we can play with anybody, we can be elite on defense. Like, we haven't seen it. The Maryland game, yeah, but most of this year they've been pretty average on defense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have one answer for that. I feel like, to be honest, coaching. I feel like we haven't put our guys in the right positions for defense. I feel like we switch from zone to man pretty often. I feel like we're always kind of
not tell you what they're going to play from game to game.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I feel like it just hasn't. It's been there for some players. KJ, obviously, incredible defender. Vince been an incredible defender, but it hasn't been consistent. And I feel like Ed's idea and method of getting guys who could play amazing defense doesn't work anymore because you need guys who could score. And yeah, you turned Micah Peavy into someone who could score and an amazing player, and also Thomas Sorber into an amazing offensive player and defensive player. But even though we had injuries that year, we still didn't make the tournament. So you can send two kids to the league, but we didn't do anything. We didn't use any of that momentum to get a big center and be able to preach, yeah, we just got this center into the NBA. We want to do the same to you. We didn't preach that to anyone. We didn't use that resume or that. It's a big deal to get a guy who wasn't ranked in the top 50 as a recruit to be the 15th pick of the NBA draft and being hurt more than half the season. But we didn't use that to go get a center. We didn't it doesn't make sense. And I feel like he has to change his ideas of what it means and how you can be a March Madness team and win in March. Because if we're in the Crown tournament, I swear to God, I'm going to be insanely angry next year. And
if you're Cooley.
What happened?
Would you turn down an invitation to the Crown if you were Cooley?
I don't even think if you're the worst team in the Big East, you get an invitation to the Crown.
Oh, it's that? I didn't realize it was that discriminating.
No, I'm pretty sure it's not. You don't get an invite if you're the last team in the Big East. If we do get an invite, he should not take it. It's been a horrible season. There's no reason for us to go out there and play. And I was talking more about next year. If we are not in March Madness next year, which obviously it's a hard thing to ask for when we're the worst team in the Big East, like Ed should be gone. Because I'm close to saying Ed should be 100% gone this year.
Sometimes I felt that he would quit rather than instead of being fired.
That's what I was saying. I think it's time for him to, as Steven said.
No, I mean he has looked so depressed in these press conferences that I thought, is he going to quit? Like he just looks confused and out of sorts. Because I know Georgetown is going to be very slow to let him go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he quits because I don't think he's getting any job that's like Georgetown.
No one walked away from that much money. Also,
yeah, exactly. I think he definitely, if he's gonna quit, might as well coach bad and get $20 million for it. But he has not looked happy. No one's really looked happy on our team, and it's just been a horrible, horrible time.
Yeah, nobody should look happy, quite honestly.
Yeah. I'm actually confused on why he's not angrier and not saying more like, these kids played horrible. They're going to run insane amount.
Yeah, I don't think he's that type. He's not Mick Cronin who's gonna.
Yeah.
shit talk his team whether they win or lose. Obviously, I
Also,
think
you
he's
don't need a you
probably
don't need a shit talk. You don't need a shit talk to show anger though. Like he has not been angry. I feel like at all. We have another. The fact that Shrewsbury was a finalist with Cooley just shows that Lee Reed won't make the right move anyways. He needs to go too. Uh, you want to take this one, Rasheen?
I think that's the defense of Lee Reed is that so many other sports are thriving, and does that are you going to sacrifice that because you're so upset? And also, I just think it's never been clear what the chain of command is on men's basketball. As the president, for years it was kind of the president who was responsible and making the decisions about it. Is it Lee Reed now 100%? I don't know. It's a confusing thing. It's one of the things that makes the job on the track. So I think you have to look at Lee Reed, right? You can't say this program is continually firing coaches and not look at the guy who's making the hire. And you can't say this program is unstable, which I would say it is, and not look at Lee Reed. So with that, I agree. You gotta no job should be safe in the program next year.
I feel like more of a conversation to talk about when Ed was a finalist was ghosting Dan Hurley for Ed Cooley. I at the start of the season I was preaching a lot about how Ed Cooley was better than doing something with nothing than Dan Hurley, and I was completely wrong. I mean, the fact that we didn't even reach out to Dan Hurley or like again and just ghosted him, it makes zero sense because that's the exact coach I would want on this team. I feel like we would be in a very different position, obviously, if you had Dan Hurley, but I just don't know where to go from here.
Do you think Dan Hurley could be successful here?
I feel like he has evolved to the game of college. We have the money here. If when we're playing well, we have fans. We have the like people know Georgetown as a pretty good basketball school from the past and from a long time ago. Like I think he would be successful here. I think he would have been able to do kind of similar things to what he was able to do at UConn.
So he was lecturing the UConn fans after that Georgetown game for not enough of them showing up. And, UConn's had a lot of success recently, obviously, and that's only a 10,000 seat arena. How would he react to, the other night, the announced attendance was 4,500. There's no way there was more than 2,000 there. What would he say about that? Even if you got like a huge amount of people for Georgetown, like I think there was 14,000 for Villanova, there was 17,000 for UConn. That's still, it's hard to fill 20,000 seats.
Yeah, I mean,
they have one of the biggest arenas in college basketball.
Yeah, I feel like that's a kind of a separate conversation on like if we should have a better arena on campus that could fit more people than McDonough, but way less than Cap One. I feel like it's definitely a conversation that needs to be had. Why do we use Cap One? I don't know if we're getting donated money from or something if we have a deal with them, but there's no real reason to use Cap One anymore. The same guy, West Country, made another comment. He's not in the league of most of the coaches in this conference, and it shows at crunch time.
So I think other coaches in the league think he's great. They really think he's a smart coach. Cooley himself will tell you he's great at close games and he loves them. I have not seen that at all this year.
He is not great at close games at all. Like he could say whatever he wants, but he has not shown anything that makes it seem like he's a good coach in this league in general this entire season. And to be honest, the only reason they're not firing him, in my opinion, is because of the money. If they could pay him $10 million even to say you're not going to be our coach anymore and we can go get a new guy, I think they would be doing it in a heartbeat and they would be doing it very, very soon.
See, I think they wouldn't. I mean, they gave Ewing 6 years. I think they would just. I mean, I really think the
I mean, how
thinking
much
is
how much money was the buyout for Patrick Ewing?
that I don't know. That I don't know.
I think that the fact that they've had to buy out 2 coaches already, and now there's a conversation about buying out Ed Cooley means that the money is kind of it matters. You can't just throw money at this coach and buy him out. That's why I'm saying if it was maybe 10 mil, they'd buy him out. But yeah, you may be right as well.
Um, yeah, I think they. I mean, I think he's well thought of across the program, and I think it's just too easy for him to say, "Look at these injuries." Um, but I think a bigger question is, can anybody win here? That's the other thing. If they fire Cooley, that's a very serious question
Yeah,
that they have
yeah,
to answer. Can no one be successful here?
yeah. I feel like I'm asking kind of the same thing. Are there any better options? I mean, as the season ends, I feel like we're gonna get a little bit of a bigger picture on what we need in the transfer portal. If Ed's gonna be our coach, which I think we both think he will be. Um, I mean, I don't really know if there's anything left to say. We've been live for about 50 minutes. Um, if you got anything else, Rasheen?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to everybody who showed up for the Bleeding Blue and Gray listening section. We had 12 people the first game, and then we had 8 the next game. I'm going to be back on March 7th um, for the Providence game, our last home game of the season. Unfortunately, we won't be subsidizing tickets anymore. But come join me in section 118. It's going to be fun. Providence is, our arch rival now that we no longer play Syracuse. The students aren't going to be there because they're on spring break. So we really need to show up as alums and fans and just friends of the program. And by the way, where is your brother going for spring break?
Uh, he is he's coming here. And then
Wondering,
I'm not really sure after that, but
and
he's
are you
coming.
guys going someplace as a family or?
No, I have exams, so it doesn't really correspond, but we'll be here. I'll be studying up on Georgetown basketball and seeing what's next for the program. I'm gonna try and create kind of just a list of people that we should be targeting in the transfer portal and study up on it because I'm kind of just turning to next year.
No, that's smart. I mean, I think people should go back and watch our summer school episode to get our and that was a long time ago where we we said this season's over. And just give it a rewatch and let us know if you think that we're right about what people need to work on during summer.
I feel like this is a pretty good comment to leave the live on. My
Yeah.
daughter is a junior at Georgetown. She and her friends have no desire to go to a game. She went to the UConn game because the tickets were free to students. I was also at that game, and I was with my brother and his friends. And I think eight of them that I was with said they've never went to a Georgetown game, and they've never had any desire to either. So, and they're all juniors and seniors as well. So, I mean, yeah,
Like basketball fans?
yeah, they watch NBA, they watch all, but it's just why go to why why go to Georgetown if we're not winning games? There's no point.
Yeah, so I think it's winning, but I also think it's just not part of the identity of most kids there.
Yeah.
And they're just more focused on grades and internships and other stuff. But I think at the schools that have the best turnouts, it is part of the social fabric, right? People go because other people they know are going to be going, and it's fun. And even when the team is not winning, right? It's just like what people do.
Yeah.
Now that's harder in DC to create that type of atmosphere, but that's what they have to do. It can't. If it's only about winning, we'll never win enough that people will just, are automatically going to come. We have to give people something else. It's got to be a better in-game experience. It's got to be better outreach to kids. It's got to be it's just got to be fun, right?
Yep. But yeah, thank you everyone for listening in to our update on Georgetown basketball. KJ Lewis is out for the season, and just what we were thinking on Ed Cooley. Like and subscribe to Big East Energy Network on Twitter and YouTube, as well as our personal accounts on Big East Hoyas on Twitter.
And I'm Hoya Optimist 33. Might become Hoya Pessimist 33.
And as well as our joint Bleeding Blue and Gray account, which is Bleed Blue 1789. But thank you everyone for watching, and let's go Hoyas.
Let's go Hoyas.